Welcome to this new lesson about Python Flask. In our last lesson, we spoke about how to create post request to add a new item in our to-do list. In today's lesson, we will speak about how to get a specific item from that list using this endpoint, which is to do backslash optional id. So this id can be variable, can be 1 to whatever id we have in the list. So we will send the id of the item in the list to this endpoint, and then this endpoint will have a method that searches for the item in the to-do list which is match this id. This of course will uh, will uh, will work by get request, and we will send 200 status code if we found that ID in the list, with the item itself as JSON. And if we don't find that ID, we will send the response code or the status code 404, which is not found, and with a suitable message that item not found. So let's go ahead and create this endpoint. So as always, we will use the flask app route decoration dot route, and then our to do, and then here how you specify optional parameter for in the endpoint id, which is the id. Now we need to define the method. Let's get new line. So we will define a new method called find to do item by id, and then we will pass the same parameter here, which is id. Now how we can find this id in this list? That's easy. We just loop through each item in this list, and we try to match this id with each id in the for the item in the list. If one of them is matched, then we will return it. Otherwise, we will continue search. If nothing found, we need to send 404 error. So let's go and do that. So first of all, I will define something called to return, or maybe item to return. I will initialize it with none, and now I will loop in this list to find if there is any item match that ID. So for item in to do list, if item, don't forget we store dictionary here, so we will get its ID in this way by the key equal ID, then the item to return will be equal to this item, else we will continue search. So we just say continue. Now if this item is none after this loop is end, that means we didn't find the item, so we'll send this response, but the only thing is different here, the status will be 404. So let's go and check for that. So now if to return item to return equal none, that means we don't find it, we will return this response, but only thing the message will be item not found, and the status will be 404, which is the status code for the not found resources, if you remember the REST status code. Now, otherwise, else, we will define response equal JSONify and item to return, and then we will say response dot status code equal 200, which is okay, we found that thing, and then we return the response. So this is two ways to work on this to return response for the user. So you can use this way or this way. Even this way can convert it easily to this way. So we can say response equal JSONify, and then you put this string instead of item to return, and then the status code will be 404, and then return the response. So feel free to use any of them. So now our method is done. It's time to test it. So again, we will run the application by just say python to do rest .by. Now again, this means the server is running. So I will use postman to check if localhost 8181 to do, and then item number 1. Item number 1, remember we added here in the code, so we supposed to get it. Now if we send this request, could not get any response. Okay, 8181, and as you see, we are able to get this response with the ID number 1. So this is the response. Now let's try something that exists, which is 10. And as you see, we got 404 not found, and this nice message. Lovely. Let's add a new item and try to search for it. So remember that we have the post request for adding the item to the to-do list. So localhost 8181, and then to do, I'll copy the response from here and I will change it a little bit. So this is the body, change this to JSON, put it here. Let's put, for example, like 3, start learning, for example, Java, and the title will be there, Java. I'll send it, and we got the message 201 created with message success. Let's search for that one, which is /3, and we got it here, as you see. So we are able to add a new item and search for it, and that's all for this lesson. See you in the next lesson, which we will speak about how to update existing item using REST API and Flask. See you in the next lesson.